Okay, good morning everyone. So today's editorial is over the top and it's about on privacy and regulation of digital apps. Okay, so if government want to control digital apps, before that government should think about the privacy. Okay, this is about today's editorial. So let's learn what actually it's, and today is September 26, 2022. Okay, so let's start now. The draft telecommunication bill put out last week for public comments hints a disturbing governmental pursuit for more control over a range of digital applications and over the top streaming services that millions of Indians use daily. So we know that those services, those applications, those apps used by millions of Indians daily, and there's a draft telecommunication bill. Draft means which is not final yet, but there's a bill, telecommunication bill, put out last week for public comments, and that bill put out last week hints a disturbing governmental pursuit. It hints a disturbing governmental pursuit for more control over a range of digital application. Government want more control over the range of digital application. That means digital applications are like Amazon, Flipkart, Netflix, etc., etc., and over the top streaming services that millions of Indians use daily. Okay, I think you got the idea of the first para, and in the next para we are having it seeks to do this by bringing them under the ambit of telecommunication services, the operation which would require a license. See, if what the editor, I mean the author right here is that uh, it six means want to do this by bringing them under a ambit. What is the meaning of ambit? So let me tell you, ambit is a noun. Okay, yeah, here it's fine. Ambit is a noun and it means the scope. It means the scope. This word, where it's ambit means the scope. Uh, Telecommunication services, the operation of which would require a license. So if any telecommunication service have to operate, then they required one license. That is, if the draft provisions do go through, this means this means the like of WhatsApp, Zoom, Netflix will be considered telecommunication services, and so would a whole range of digital services that are anyway regulated by the IT Act. And we know that these services like WhatsApp, Zoom, Netflix will be considered over telecommunication services by the government, and so would a whole range of digital services that are way regulated by the IT Act. And those applications which regulated by the IT Act will regulate by telecommunication services by the government. Okay, COVID-19 pandemic and sorry guys, I think it's not for here. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the next para. I think that line is from previous editorial. Okay, so in this para we are going to have this these government want to do by a wide expansion of the definition of what constitute a telecom service. The new definition includes everything from broadcasting services to electronic mail, from voicemail to voice, video, and data communication services, from internet and broadband services to over the top communication services, including those that the government may notify separately. So, government want to do by a wide expansion of the definition of what constitute a telecom service. So government want to expand the area of telecom service, and the new definition of this telecom service includes everything like broadcasting services, emails, voicemails, video, data communication services, everything from internet and broadband services to over the top communication services. Over the top communication services, it means those which I already mentioned, like Amazon, Netflix, Flipkart, these are over the top communication services, including those the government may notify separately. So government want to include all those in a telecommunication service. Okay, so let's go to the next para. It is well to state, as the government has done, that the country requires a new legal framework and not the existing one that is based on the Indian Telegraph Act 1885. So, according to that Indian Telegraph Act, which is done around 1885, this is quite old, right? So if government have to do these things, like if the government has done that, the country requires a new legal framework and not the existing one that is based on Indian Telegraph Act 1885. Now it's 21st century, so it must be changed, but it is not just technology that has evolved. Evolved means changed. um, Evolved means changed. Oh, wait. Evolve means change in over a century, but also a democratic society's understanding and expectation of users' right, privacy, and transparency. So not only the technology will be changed if government apply the telecommunication services on those applications, then it's not only change the technology, it will change the society's understanding and expectation, users' rights, privacy, and transparency. What transparency means? Transparency means clarity. Transparency means uh, clarity. Oh, clarity. Okay, so let's go to the next para now. Not long ago, the highest court in the country acknowledged a citizen's right to privacy as a fundamental right. So, the highest court in the country already acknowledged a citizen rights to privacy. See, the court, the highest court already acknowledged that privacy is the fundamental right of every citizen, and if government will do something like that, then privacy will hamper. So government need to think about it. This draft, however, disappoints on the above count. So if this draft is applicable, which draft, which we came to know in the first line, the draft of telecommunication bill. If this draft will applicable, then it will hamper the privacy of the human. This draft, however, disappoint the above counts. According to it, according to this draft, telecommunication bill, for instance, the government has the power to prevent a message from being transmitted on the occurrence of any public emergency or in the interest of the public safety. See, if this draft will implement, then according to this draft, according to its rule, the government has the power to prevent a message. Government has the power to prevent a message. Government can prevent the message from transmitted. Okay, and if it's happened on the occurrence of any public emergency or in the interest of public safety, then government have that opportunity to prevent that message. So it will hamper the privacy of human being. Okay, so let's go to the next para. Another clause in the draft bill requires an entity that has been granted a license to unequivocally. It's a good vocab we are having right now. I think we are aware of equivocally. Equivocally means not clear, and unequivocally means, wait, let me, unequivocally means clear. Okay, it means clear. Identify uh, identify the person to whom it provides services. A similar clause under the IT rules brought in last year. And there's one similar clause under IT rules brought last year, which requiring messaging apps to, which include messaging apps to enable the identification of the first originator of the information on its computer resource. So, see, a similar clause under the IT rules brought in the last year, which requiring messaging apps, according to that clause which brought up last year under the IT rules, is that all the messaging apps should require, it should enable the identification of the first originator. First originator, what it means. See, if one text gone viral, and if we don't know who originate that, but the messaging apps are aware of that, like who originate the message. So last year there's one rule brought up that government want to know the identification of the first originator, like who inform about these things, first originator of the information on its computer resource. So has been challenged in the court, which has been challenged in the court. Why it's challenged in the court? Because court already mentioned that privacy is the fundamental right. So if privacy is the fundamental right, what is the benefit of these clauses? Okay, so government need to think about it. So here now, clause in the draft bill, today's draft bill, which applied some days ago, like telecommunication bill, requires an entity that has been granted a license to unequivocally, a clear license, identify the person to whom it provides services. So the apps need to identify the person to whom it provides services, and they need some license as well. So this is one of the clause of this bill. Okay, so let's go to the next para. There are enough valid reason to doubt whether this is even technically possible without breaking encryption. It's a good vocab we're having now. Encryption, it means the act of putting information into a special code, specially in order to prevent people from looking at it without authority. It means we can say like we are having some code, right? Uh, code. Simply if we have to say something, some words, and what I can give here example. Yes, 143, which means I think we all are aware of this. 143 means I love you. So this is a code. So we can say that this is a encryption of this sentence. I love you. We can say it as 143. So encryption is like coding language. No, I mean whenever we inform something in a special code, then we can use this term encryption, and it's a noun, and making all communication vulnerable. Okay, this word I usually get this word in case of editorial, which means vulnerable means weakness. Um, vulnerable means weakness. While this is not to underplay the mounting challenges for, and what mounting means, mounting we know about it. Whenever something is gradually gradually increase, then it's known as mounting. Okay, see, there are enough valid reason to doubt. Okay, so to doubt we have enough valid reason whether this is even technically possible or not. Which is technically possible? I mean, if we have to inform about the first originator, is it technically possible or not without breaking encryption and making all communication vulnerable? If uh, if uh, we have to tell about, if the apps have to tell about the first originator to the government, then it will weaken the communication. While this is not to underplay the mounting challenges for, that means it will increase the challenges as well. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Ensuring security, the repeated attempts by the government to be able to tap into means it's a phrasal verb, and it means um, gain the access, or we can say access. So tap into means access. So ensuring security, the repeated attempts by the government to be able to tap into, that means access all kinds of communication without making sure the common man has a legal armor. It's uh, it's a vocab related to the battlefield. Wait a second. We know that people wear some clothes in the battlefield. I mean, to protect themselves. They to protect themselves from the enemy in the battlefield. They wear some clothes. I mean, it's not like clothes. We can say it's a metal covering. So this is known as armor. Why this word used here? Because common man, like we people, also have some armor, legal armor. That means we have our protection in the form of a data protection law. We have our protection in the form of a data protection law, is extremely problematic. Okay, so if these things happen, if government will implement this kinds of rule, telecommunication rule all over this, then our protection will be in some problem. Okay, so the government needs to upgrade this thinking on users and privacy. These drafts need to go back to the drawing board. So It's a good phrase we are having now. Go back to the drawing board. It means it's a phrase.
Starting
Okay.
again.
Hmm? Yes, absolutely correct. It means starting over or start
Wha-
over.
It means we fail to do anything, then we directly start from basic.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Thank you. Thank you so much for explaining. Yeah, see, if we fail to do anything, I mean, if government will fail to do that, then it will start over from the basic. So this is all about today's editorial. So anyone who would like to tell us about the tone of editorial? Anyone?
Informative.
Informative. Okay, so why do you think that it's a informative one? Just put your points.
From my point of view, it's analytical. No, it's analytical because author is trying to analyze all data protection and privacy. Author is trying to convey to
Okay,
government relative, about the privacy issue and data protection.
okay. Anyone else? Okay, so let me tell you.
No,
See,
I
if we
feel it
have,
informative just because the it is all about information given about that data protection law.
okay, yeah, thank you for your points. But see, if we are going to read this line, the government needs to upgrade its thinking on privacy before seeking to control digital apps. Then here we feel like uh, it's a suggestive one. Don't you feel like that? It's a suggestive one because
Actually,
author trying
actually,
to
yes, yes. Actually, I also this
author.
thing also was in my mind, but I feel I initially I felt informative, but yeah,
Okay, yeah. From here, it seems like it's suggestive. Okay, and if we go below, then it seems like critical as well because author trying to criticize the government. What do you think? What's your point? Yeah, so for according to me, or in my opinion, I'm thinking that suggestive or critical, the tone of this editorial. So this is all about today's editorial. And before winding up this editorial, I have some question. And thanks to
okay,
all
okay.
the participants who participate our session. And please don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. We will upload this in our YouTube channel as
Are
well.
you
So this is the first,
are you conducting
yes,
this session on daily basis?
daily basis, yeah. But
Okay. No,
we are
actually, it
having the,
means actually I subscribed that YouTube channel, and there are also lots of editorial session available on that channel.
yeah.
I think that all session conducted by you. I think.
No, not only me, all the admins are conducting. Today I'm free, that's why I'm conducting.
No, but
And
actually those session that I attended, na, that your name written there, so that's why I guess.
okay, okay, I got it. Yeah, yeah. Maybe I attend those. Okay, I conducted those. So this is the first question. Which one is the antonym of the word scuffling? So who would like to say the answer? Oh, scuffling.
Brawl.
Agreement.
Agreement. Yeah, it's correct. Option B is correct. Agreement. So the antonym of scuffling is agreement. Okay, so can I go to the next question?
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes.
Okay. Next question is which one is the synonym of extradite? Extradite.
Quite.
Synonym.
Depot.
No. Deport. Yes, deport is correct. Deport is correct. Okay. So the synonym of extradite is deport. Okay. So let's go to the third question. Which one is similar word to atavistic? That means the synonym of atavistic.
Avoid.
No.
Bygone.
Bygone. Yes, it's correct. Bygone is correct. Okay, so
By the
the
way, what is the
synonym
meaning of that atavistic?
of atavistic is bygone. Okay, so anyone who would like to tell, because the person who tell us the meaning of atavistic as bygone, maybe that person know this. Before I tell, it will be better if he tell us.
Meaning also.
Yeah, because if you know the meaning of atavistic as bygone, then maybe you know the meaning of atavistic as well. Okay, so can I tell, or would you like to tell us? Okay, so atavistic means belonging to an earlier time, like we use bygone is in some sentences.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the meaning. Which is the antonym of the word schemes? Schism. Yeah.
Agreement.
No.
Which newspaper editorial is this?
Hindu newspaper.
Okay, okay. Editorial page, na?
These questions. No, these are like for vocab. I mean, we need some improvement in our vocab, right? That's why I put this
Yes.
question here.
No, actually, but most of the time we need to antonym, synonym. We need to read passage for that.
Okay, so let me tell the meaning. I mean, the antonym, it means rift. Rift means split, or schism means combine, we can say. Okay,
Yeah,
so this is all
split
about
means
today's.
separate, no?
Yeah, split means separate out. Okay, so what are the vocab we have learned from today's editorial? Anyone can tell? Like what vocab I mentioned here in today's editorial? Okay, seeking. Seeking means what? Anyone can say? See, seeking is correct, but wanting is correct or not? Anyone can say? Wanting.
It means you are talking grammatical mistake, na?
Yeah, here we are having this word seeking. This one.
Before seeking to control.
This means
I think
before want to control this app, right? But seeking is used. Why wanting is not used? Okay, this is a question. If you'll get the answer, then comment on our YouTube video. Okay, so this is all about today's tutorial. I need to wind up the session here. And yeah, we learned this ambit, which means the scope. Then we have learned this one, evolve.
Actually,
Evolve means change. Transparency means
su-
clarity.
yes.
And
Actually,
unequivocally means clear.
such
Yes?
kind of passage comes in competitive exam also, bank
Yes,
exam
that's
like.
right. Yeah, that's why we are having this kinds of session, and we are trying to attend. Even though I am also learning, if I am mentioning these things, I also learn this thing, right? I'm not like someone who is pro. I'm also learning
Okay.
and trying to put my views so that I will also be some like I will also have some knowledge, okay? And what encryption means? It means code, coding language, and vulnerable means weakness, and mounting means gradually increase. So this is all about, and yeah, tap into means access. And go back to the drawing board. You already mentioned that start over. And armor is a covering, metal covering cloth, which usually people wear in the battlefield. Okay, so this is all about today's tutorial, and I'm going to wind up the session here. I'm going to conclude the session here. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.